All-Ireland football final.
Obviously very colourful scenes here at Croke Park today, and as you can see in the background, the skies are blue, the sun is shining. It's an absolute going to win the All-Ireland.
The sky is blue. Maybe that's a sign in itself.
It's just green.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, good one, Mike. I do think that Mayo are better than last year.
I think we're going to have to up our game a bit here.
They're in better physical and mental condition, I think, than I have ever seen this group of players. Maybe this is their date with destiny. They need a big game out of Aidan O'Shea and probably the game of his life from Andy Moran. But all things considered, I think Dublin have better players over a spread of 21 or 22. And much and all as I would like to see Mayo winning, I think Dublin are the better team.
I suppose, Joe Brolly, that is the general consensus. I mean, obviously there's a romantic notion to it for people.
But Pat's Kerry team were the greatest football team I ever saw, the greatest forward line I ever saw. But unquestionably, this is the best squad the game has ever seen. Their B team could easily be in an All-Ireland final today, their B15. And that's the problem that Mayo have. I think that with Jim setting a template of humility and that they don't have any vanity. Vanity is what leads to complacency and being distracted. And they just play relentlessly. And I mean, I think Mayo would have to play the game of their lives for 80 minutes. Where are the Mayo subs whenever they need them? I mean, it's going to be an extraordinary achievement for them, but you would say that the smart money has got to be on Dublin.
Ah, yeah, there's no doubt about that, Pat.
That was Joe. I don't know.
There's no doubt about that, Pat.
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, look, on Mayo, I would dearly love to see Mayo win in All-Ireland. There's no doubt about it. They're coming into this game, their battle happened, they have momentum on their side, they're hitting peak fitness. The last 3 games, they were brilliant. They have great resilience. There's great unpredictability about them. They have a chance. They have to go toe-to-toe with the Dubs. They have to ask questions of the Dubs physically. Yes, the Dubs haven't been tested, but at the same time, I will have to agree with the two boys. I think this is the most complete Gaelic football team I've seen for many years. They tick all the boxes. Why are Dublin going to win? I think the key area is pace all over the field, greater scoring threat, greater impact off the bench. And I just think this year, unlike last year, the addition of Jack McCaffrey, the moving of James McCarthy to midfield, Conor Callan coming in, Paul Mannion coming in, I think there's a bit of an X factor to Dublin.
Just say Dublin, Pat. Just say Dublin.
They're playing a higher tempo. I think Dublin.
The ref's about to throw in, Pat.
Hold a minute. I think Dublin. I can still get another couple of sentences on that. But Dublin to win, Michael.
I think Dublin are going to win. Fair
I think that's the general.
I just want to say hello to Jim and Teresa Ring down in Middleton and Cork, and also Tom and Marion Fitzgerald from Claremorris watching.
It's up in the air at the moment, quite literally. That looks superb. It's time, however, down on earth to renew rivalries. It's the final of the 130th GAA Football Championship. Will it be a 3 in a row for Dublin, or a first in 66 years for Mayo? The match to be handled by Joe McQuillan, his 3rd All-Ireland Senior Football final. He's got Conor Lane and he's got Pádraig O'Sullivan on the sidelines. Look at this for an impressive setting. It's where you want to be on the 3rd Sunday in September. Next year it's set to be all changed. We're supposed to have finals in August from here on in. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Dublin won the toss, and every indication that they're going to play down towards Hill 16 for the opening 35 minutes. Jim Gavin in charge of Dublin. Only 1 defeat in 5 seasons in the championship, and that against Donegal in the semi-final in 2014. Mayo ready to do the business. That's their hope. Enormous pressure on all of the players concerned. Biggest day of the year in football. One of the biggest days ever in their lives, in their footballing lives. John Small ready, along with Conor Callaghan. Ready for the start of the match. The 8s and the 9s are ready to go at it. And in fact, it ends up being number 11, Aidan O'Shea, who gets the first possession. Leaving it off here towards Kevin McLaughlin. Trying to set up a scoring opportunity early on here for Jason Doherty to fire it in. But away to the left-hand side. First opportunity falling to Mayo, failing to avail of it. He's had a very good year, Jason Doherty.
Yeah, and Aidan O'Shea continued his trend of winning every throw-up so far this season, but Jason Doherty will be disappointed with that shot.
Dublin's kick-outs once again successfully completed as they go short. The Dublin goalkeeper, his record over the championship this year, so impressive. 86% of his kick-outs have worked out, and when you give it to Jack McCaffrey, you know what you can expect as he takes off. Down to the opposing 45-metre line. In here as far as Brian Fenton. Back to Cian O'Sullivan. Able to patrol in front of the full back line usually, along with Johnny Cooper. Once again, it's Jack McCaffrey. Dublin looking to try and dominate the early exchanges here, impose their will on the game as they did against Tyrone in a very one-sided semi-final a couple of weeks ago. O'Sullivan again threading it in here towards O'Callaghan. He's been the boy wonder of football this year, and he shrugs off the attentions of the backs, goes in and scores! What a start after a minute and 25 seconds. Another brilliant opening goal for Dublin. Superbly converted by Con O'Callaghan. What a player this lad is.
Yeah, great run by Con O'Callaghan, straight at the heart of the defence. Colin Boyle was marking him since the start of the match. Couldn't get near him, but that shows the composure of this guy in a brilliant finish.
The best possible start for the champions. And once again, Mayo have to start an All-Ireland final and come from behind. Fenton. Kieran Kilkenny getting his hands on the ball. Nicely supported here. Always able to move forward. John Small scored against Mayo in last year's drawn All-Ireland final. Back out as far as Dean Rock. Cooper. Total domination by Dublin so far. In as far as Paul Mannion. So elusive, so quick. All the way back to Andrews. A left footer this time from him. And a first wide as well. Wide apiece, but that goal still has the crowd buzzing here at Croke Park.
Yeah, and it's a full court press by Dublin so far. See Johnny Cooper, all their players are pushing right up and putting massive pressure on the Mayo team.
It's with Tom Parsons now. Mayo trying to establish some little bit of mastery here in this game. Had one attack already. Jason Doherty firing it wide. McLaughlin. A couple of players coming together. One of them was O'Gara, the other was McLaughlin. Tom Parsons chipped in towards Andy Moore, and two against him. They know his danger, and out comes Mick Fitzsimons. All the way out as far as Paul Mannion. Came very deep on occasions as well in the semi-final match. Fenton. As the season has gone on, his game has improved immeasurably. Into Owen O'Gara. Late change. O'Gara coming in for Niall Scully. O'Callaghan laying it off to McCaffrey. Down he goes. Referee says he's going to hold the play. Thought he was going to allow play to continue.
I think he got it bang on the leg there as Keith Higgins came in. There's not much in that. It's hard to see it. Yeah, no, it's hard to see it. But again, you see Con O'Callaghan there. Possibly Steph. No, a lovely finish. Great finish.
Really was. Second goal of the championship, scored after 5 minutes against Tyrone. And in under 90 seconds here, getting the opener in the All-Ireland final. Referee's got to throw the ball up, so there was no foul. No free kick given. Mayo win it back, having made the worst possible start. And it's Aidan O'Shea who's back there trying to lead the way. I guess if you're going to concede a goal, you might as well concede it early on because you've got an awful lot of time to repair the damage. Kevin McLaughlin, quick look up, 2 against 4 inside. Andy Moran races out to get it. Quick look up, good score by Moran.
Yeah, and that's what Andy Moran has been doing all season, and I've marked Michael Fitzsimons myself. He's a tough, tenacious defender, and great play again by Andy Moran.
One of his colleagues was able to hold off the back that time and give him sufficient space in which to get the kick in. So Mayo are off the mark. And this time the kick out is attacked quickly. Should have been Mayo's. It is eventually. Donny Vaughan has got it. They're attacking in waves. Vaughan taking the return pass. Vaughan kicks another one. 2 in a row.
Yeah.
It's a bit like last year's drawn final where the replay, they conceded 4 points, then got the next 4.
Yeah, well, that's what we've seen time and time again with these Mayo lads. They're not going to lie down, but that came from a poor kick out from Stephen Cluxton. He's going long a lot of the time.
Cluxton, brilliant kick all the way to Con O'Callaghan. That's a fantastic kick out. All the way in here towards O'Gara, looking for options. back towards the 21-year-old once again. Making his way past Parsons, giving it back out again, intended for Kieran Kilkenny, but the eagerness and the determination of Mayo is very evident there, and it's Colin Boyle who gets it away. Slips it inside as far as McLaughlin, on as far as Aidan O'Shea, back once again to the number 7, and Boyle feeds it in, once again into Andy Moore. He's gone one. 3 men against him. Cian O'Sullivan tried to get the hand in to try and win that ball back. They're trying to slip it in over Mick Fitzsimon's head. Back goes Johnny Cooper. Cooper gets the ball away out as far as Brian Fenton.
Yeah, the Mayo supporters aren't happy, but I think myself the ball was there to be won. But again, you see Andy Moore out in front. I think in last year's final, Johnny Cooper picked him up.
Paddy Andrews back around his own 45-metre line to pick this one up and give it out to James McCarthy. Philly McMahon, change of direction. Andrews once more. Pitch in very good condition in spite of the very heavy rain we had here in the Dublin region last night. Small down into the corner here where Mannion goes over. He's pushed, fouled by Paddy Durkin. Free kick awarded.
Yeah, and I suppose it's unusual for Paddy Durkin to find himself playing back in the corner. He definitely put the hands on the back there, and it's an easy free in.
Change has now been made.
Yeah, and Paul Flynn has been a massive servant 4 All-Stars in a row, but he'll make a big impression. His physicality, there's a lot of talk before the game that he might start as well, so no surprise he's in.
But if there was a change, if there was talk about him coming in before the game, it was hardly for Jack McCaffrey.
No, certainly not, no. And I suppose that just gives you an idea of Paul Flynn's his versatility. He can play pretty much anywhere.
Tricky free kick for Dean Rock out here for a right-footed kicker about 2 metres in from the Kazakhstan side. The distance from goal is about 50 metres. Now let's see if he can make it. Dropping away to the left-hand side, off Mayo hands, a 45 instead. Probably about as much as you could hope to get from that. Light breeze into his face. Perfect day for football. So a deep intake of breath. Manu says he has modelled himself on Johnny Wilkinson. Well, that one isn't the best. Didn't have the greatest of luck in the drawn final last year either, but he got 9 points in the replay. Yeah, so it stays at a goal to 2 points.
And that's the thing about free taker Ger. I suppose for the first one being so difficult, he probably might be better off giving it and going playing short, because it put a bit of pressure on his second one, and that was a poor kick as well. And all of a sudden, his mindset might change, his confidence might dip a small bit.
David Clark with the Mayo kick out. There's so much talk about kick-outs and Mayo goalkeepers in recent seasons. This one is one eventually, because in there is Jason Doherty foraging. He managed to pick it out. There were 3 Dublin players near him. Ball's going to be brought forward 13 metres for a little bit of indiscipline. Lee Keegan's going to take it in as far as Aidan O'Shea. Soloing almost caused him a little bother there, but he managed to hold on to it. Durkin's available. Paddy Durkin has come in as a late replacement for Diarmuid O'Connor, who's been troubled by hamstring problems in recent times and hasn't recovered sufficiently. And that spilled by Kevin McLaughlin into the challenge. There came James McCarthy, bottled up.
Yeah, and it's getting physical, Ger, all around the pitch. You see players getting involved with scuffles.
Dean Rock playing it on very, very quickly here on as far as Paul Flynn. All the way across here towards O'Callaghan. It's a difficult one for him to contain. Line ball.
Yeah, I suppose 2 teams that know each other so well, they're not going to give an inch.
It's exactly what you expect. Cillian O'Connor way back there to link up with his goalkeeper. Early stages and the final. It's always promised to be a fascinating prospect, and so it has turned out so far. 10 minutes since Dublin got their goal. Paddy Durkin getting it out here towards Tom Parsons. Now he's got open space in front of him. Flynn's in front of him, doesn't challenge him. Cooper comes out, fists it away from Jason Doherty. Good play again by Johnny Cooper. Does so much immense good work back there. Out to Brian Fenton, can carry it on and gives it away rather poorly to Colin Boyle. All the way up as far as the unmarked Cillian O'Connor, who took his eye off it.
Yeah, and a massive opportunity for Cillian. He's both sets of players.
Dublin will build again from the back through Philly McMahon. Taking it up, James McCarthy, new role for him this season. He really has adapted to it terribly well. Played there, of course, for Ballymun Kickham's as a centre field player. Showing his pace, Parsons goes after him, gets the hand in, does well. And that's the kind of hard work, the grafting that you got to do if you're going to win the championship. Keith Higgins. Suddenly there's a gap. Suddenly there's a support player outside him. It's Kevin McLaughlin, able to crack it. Looking to try and tie it up here. Full recovery made by Mayo.
And what a score, what play by Tom Parsons. Great heart, great energy. And Keith Higgins driving up the pitch. Brilliant play and a fabulous finish then by Kevin McLaughlin. That'll lift the crowd.
So similar to the replay where last year Dublin got the first 4, Mayo got the next 4. Great catch by Aidan O'Shea. Very good spell this for Mayo. They've responded and reacted very quickly to that Dublin goal. Lee Keegan put them in front here, under-hits it.
Yeah, and Kieran Kilkenny let Lee go for a split second and he got up the pitch. He should have scored in that opportunity.
Brian Fenton, this time much more careful, down as far as Con O'Callaghan. Dublin haven't scored for 12.5 minutes in this match, but they've got a chance coming up here now because O'Gara, just passed that ball intended for Andros, but he's gone back to try and pick it himself on O'Gara and to kick it over the bar at the end of all of that, if he can. And the umpires aren't sure, so they're going to go to Hawkeye.
Yeah, and again
wasn't absolutely certain because it's well in, as you can see.
Yeah, well, it was a surprise. I suppose the supporters generally give you an idea from the hill, but not on that occasion, so he'd be happy with the score.
So Dublin take the lead once again. Golden a point to 3 points. Nearly a quarter of an hour gone.
And I think as well, throwing on O'Gara in there has upset very much the Mayo back line. They're all over the place. Players are marking players they hadn't planned on, and a good tactical move by Jim Gavin.
It was strongly rumoured last night that he was going to start, but there are always rumours. Middle of the park right now. It's picked up here by Keith Higgins. Ready to go again. Aidan O'Shea's got his hands on the ball quite a bit in the early minutes. Looking to be the dominant factor of this game. Once again, having a difficulty with soloing that. Hasn't ever scored in an All-Ireland final. Tom Parsons. Again, looking around. Durkin ready to make a run. Parsons holding. Durkin now cutting inside, wrong-footing a couple of Dublin defenders, but the finish does not have his usual polish and assurance.
Yeah, and that's 2 good opportunities Mayo have missed, and he would have expected, he had time, he could have brought it in a small bit further and knock it over the bar.
Tuxton straight down through the centre, nobody picking up Paul Flynn. On his shoulder here he's got O'Callaghan. Boyle is going after him. Out here as far as Dean Rock, under-hitting it again, and David Clark able to make the save. The sun is a factor there for the goalkeeper and for the defenders during the opening 35 minutes. Shamie O'Shea.
Yeah, I think Dean will be disappointed with that, dropping it short. That's his 3rd miss. But again, coming from a long kick out from Stephen Cluxton, he's going long an awful lot today.
Mayo quite comfortable, just building up in a nice relaxed fashion, then putting on the injection of pace. Down went Boyle.
Yeah, it's a heavy tackle from Paul Mannion, and he'd do well to get away with a yellow card here. Yeah, I think, you see, he went in with the feet. Yellow card.
First yellow card of the match, we would imagine, and it's for Paul Mannion. A bit early to be picking up a yellow card like that, only 17 minutes into the contest.
Yeah. Colin Boyle's a tough man, in fairness, he gets up and gets on with it. But Mayo are doing well, they've settled into the game after that early blow. I'm
sure older Mayo fans were probably thinking back to 2006 and 2004 before that, when they were pretty well hammered by Kerry in those finals. This time it's Jason Doherty showing assurance, giving it off here to Andy Moran. They've had some good link-up play this year in the championship, but it doesn't end with a score, and it's already a 3rd wide by Mayo.
And Kevin McLaughlin picking up good ball, great ball in there from Jason Doherty out in front of Johnny Cooper, and Andy will be disappointed with that since the form he's in.
John Small has made that centre-half back position very much his own since the Leinster final. Taking that return pass, now an opportunity to belt it in. Inside towards O'Gara, fisted away from him, however, by Donny Bohan, and out comes Paddy Durkin. So far they've handled most of the difficult moves that Dublin have managed to put together. Again, the referee sees an off-the-ball foul, brings the play up to the 45-metre line.
And it's Aidan O'Shea on Cillian O'Sullivan, and I think Aidan is marking him pretty much all the time, but he wants to take him on at every opportunity.
I think Dublin fans will be quite disappointed. The fact that they made such a wonderful start to the game, got a goal after just under 90 seconds, haven't really built upon that so far.
Yeah, well, not their forwards. Dean Rock has missed a couple of opportunities. Owen O'Gara's gone on the score sheet once, but certainly you would say that they've missed some very good opportunities.
Johnny Cooper's on the ground. Meanwhile, Cillian O'Connor kicks and puts it over.
Yeah, and I mentioned there's a bit of stuff going off the ball, and certainly Mayo manoeuvred that where Johnny Cooper ended up on the ground.
Teams level once again. Cooper ended up on the seat of his pants, pleading to the referee. Play continued, and O'Connor put it over.
Yeah, and we're watching Stephen Cluxton here, and he has to go long. Mayo are putting massive pressure on that kick out.
Into the centre where it's 2 against 2, and Tom Parsons clutches this one.
And you see them, they're playing with a bit of confidence now and a bit of a swagger.
Aidan O'Shea, again full of ideas, lots of movement, drilling it inside. Great angle runs being made by different players. Andy Moran looking assured. That's another, he's got 2.
Yeah, and his movement gives him an extra yard of pace. It's just incredible how he moves. He's such an intelligent player, and he'll be delighted with that finish.
It's early in the final, but they've already got 5 scores on the board. Watch this again here. That's what happened there, and that's where I think Johnny Cooper ended up on the flat of his, well, the seat of his pants, I think it was.
Yeah, well, I suppose what you're saying is two teams so familiar with each other, and I can remember last year's final. I thought it was a very physical game in both encounters, but Joe McQuillan will have his hands full. Like, both players know in the dark arts, they know how to get away with things, and certainly they're trying it out today.
It's looking like a big test for his team this afternoon. They haven't had too many of them so far in this year's championship. This time the referee, by the way, is going over, and he's having a word with his linesman Conor Lane, who's informing him, I think, as to what may have happened. And there could be a little chat between referee and one of the players.
Yeah, I think he's telling Philly McMahon less of the pulling.
Next kick out about to happen. Dublin goes short, out as far as Mick Fitzsimons, pressurised by Andy Moran. Johnny Cooper. Cian O'Sullivan. Down towards Paul Flynn, trying to take it in his stride, but he's challenged vigorously by Seamie O'Shea. And you can see they're absolutely going to give Dublin nothing. They will have watched the semi-final where Dublin absolutely lorded it, and occasions Dublin's movement and speed is bewildering. And here's Flynn off towards O'Gara. Now, can he make the necessary headway? That's a foul on Paddy Andrews. That's a free in. It's one thing that Mayo cannot afford to be doing, giving away free kicks 30 metres out.
Yeah, that's a poor free to give away. Donal Vaughan shouldn't have done that. Careless. Dublin were struggling to break them down. They hadn't plenty of numbers back, and he just lunged in there, and silly free.
Pushing the back, really quite meaningless.
And an important kick now for Dean.
Well, Dean has had a couple of chances. One very difficult free, 145. This one, just about 25 metres out, should be his first point. Makes no mistake. So once again, the teams level here. Dublin 1-2, Mayo 5 points. Tight, intense match so far, 22 minutes in. Mayo, by and large, giving as good as they have been getting. David Clark looking at what's on. Decided to go down through the centre again, but it's cut out here by John Small, and the referee saw a foul by a colleague. Think about it, James McCarthy.
Yeah, a little block there on Aidan O'Shea, and the referee was right on it.
Colin Boyle driving forward once again, the left half back of Mayo. Off as far as Kevin McLaughlin, 45 metres out in towards Andy Moore, and he's winning another one here. They can't get tight enough on him. Can he finish? The umpires have a look at it and wave the white flag. And he's got 3.
Yeah, and what an opening half for Andy Moore. And coming into this game, Jim Gavin would have known he's the main threat for this Mayo side, and it's a great return. 3 points in the first half from play.
The kick out down the middle, and Mayo won it again. What's happening to the seemingly perfect Dublin kick-outs time and again? It's Mayo who is seizing on them. From Shamey O'Shea, it's kicked in there towards Jason Doherty. They can do little wrong at this stage.
Yeah, again, all coming from Stephen Cluxton kick out, but that's the hard work of the Mayo full forward line, putting massive pressure on it, forced them to go long, and a brilliant score from Jason Doherty.
The Ware foreigner for Dublin, who's Jason Sherlock, ran in immediately, went up to Stephen Cluxton and had a word with him. Is it to be a little bit of variation? It is this time. Out to the wings to Brian Fenton. Kicked back in here to his midfield ally, James McCarthy. Space in which to manoeuvre down towards O'Gara, but that's hit rather indiscriminately, and Colin Boyle is able to get onto it quickly. Aidan O'Shea's picking up a pile of ball about 40 metres out from his own goal. He's that extra man the whole time.
I suppose they're trying to keep Cian O'Sullivan in position, Dublin, and by doing that they're letting Aidan O'Shea drift out the pitch and get on plenty of ball.
Donald Vaughan 2 against 3 inside, 1 for Cillian O'Connor to compete with, but it's eventually Cian O'Sullivan who does emerge with it. Out to Paul Flynn. McCarthy once again. They belted a few balls down into the goal mouth area, intended for O'Gara. Hasn't won them very much yet. So they're going to build up in a more measured fashion with pace, and Small deciding to kick. We know he can score, and he's done it here.
Yeah, and he's done it in last year's final as well. He's a player that has improved his game immeasurably. But I would have to say the Dublin forward line as a unit aren't working right now.
It's a 1-point game, Mayo leading. Keith Higgins. Once more they're able to start from the back, and the Dublin forwards aren't really getting tight enough on the ball carriers out of their own 45-metre zone.
Yeah, it's very easy for Mayo half back line to get out and create other attacks. Again, we see Paddy Durkin driving down the wing here.
There's a certain amount of what Dublin were doing to Tyrone in the semi-final in this. It's Mayo this time, however, who are able to carry it forward, pretty much do as they will. Chris Barrett towards Andy Moore, and this time the Dublin hands get there first and Fitzsimons gets it out, but only as far as Barrett again. Aidan O'Shea looking up, summing up what's on for him, cutting inside and cutting past Kieran Kilkenny, who's been largely anonymous in this game so far. Back it comes to Andy Moran. Mayo having much the better of it, but only leading by a point. And the concession of that goal after about 90 seconds, the big factor so far in Dublin's favour, that they're still there.
And I'm just looking, every single Dublin player, bar Owen O'Gara, is back in their own half right now.
Not what you associate, but they're doing what they have to do. Keith Higgins. A lot of possession. Now, is there some product at the end of it? It's Donny Vaughan cutting in. Doherty was an option, decides to go against that option, but now it is given back to Donny Vaughan once again from Durkin. Was there a foul there by Johnny Cooper? Referee was very close to it. Emerging was Paddy Andrews. The Mayo fans thought they were going to get a free kick. Instead, their team are back under pressure again with Conor O'Callaghan kicking it down to Dean Rock. Rock advancing. O'Gara trying to make an angle for him. Rock decided to go it himself. Superbly done. Tight angle, but he's got a second point, the first to come from open play, and he's tied up the match again, level for the 4th time in this final.
Yeah, and Donald Vaughan will be disappointed with himself. Lost the ball in possession. Mayo supporters are calling for a free. Didn't think so myself, but Dublin on a quick counter-attack did very well.
Lee Keegan's been spoken to, so a card out, and he fears the worst, and the worst on this occasion is a yellow card.
Yeah, there was a bit of off-the-ball pulling there with Kieran Kilkenny, and he'd be disappointed to pick up a yellow card. Of course, he didn't finish last year's game.
So 1-4 to 7 points. David Clark has gone pretty long with most of his kicks so far, feeling there is some benefit to be gained. John Small now, and Cillian O'Connor there as well. John Small, the one who gets it.
Yeah, John Small, I suppose, again, a good physical player, but lots of that going on all over the pitch there. I don't know what the boys did particularly wrong to pick up their yellow cards.
Could be earlier incidents that were brought back to the referee's attention some minutes after they happened. David Clark down through the centre again. Aidan O'Shea is the target, touches it down to his brother Shamey, and the older brother takes off and gives it to Lee Keegan. Booked a few moments ago. Smalls after him. Inside to Cillian O'Connor. Holds it. Philly McMahon is marker. Shamey O'Shea. Feet were out, ball was in. Dublin fans appealing for a line ball. Cillian O'Connor all the way back to Tom Parsons. Two men on the other side, totally unmarked. Breaks kindly for Jason Doherty. Gives it off here as far as Kevin McLaughlin. Into Andy Moran. Being careful about each pass, trying to deliver it perfectly, trying to pick that perfect moment to kick a point, and they do it again. And once more, it's Jason Doherty. Second of the day for him. The full forward line right now has scored 6 points from play.
Yeah, and what you're seeing is great composure from the Mayo team. Dublin have numbers back, but at the same time, Mayo are very patient in their play, moving the ball around and finding the right option.
From the kick out there, it was in came Vaughan, then Aidan O'Shea, challenged. It was James McCarthy who caught him. Referee gives an advantage to Mayo. Tom Parsons carrying it on into Jason Doherty. A couple of players in support of him here. Shamey O'Shea is one of them. Has the power and the determination to get it in there into Cillian O'Connor, kicking on the run, but it runs away from goal and Andy Moran can't keep it in. Fourth wide.
Yeah, again, well won possession around midfield. Stephen Cluxton not happy with his performance, I'd say, so far. Mayo seem to be dominating around the midfield.
Again, the referee. Now he's going back for an earlier foul, which was by James McCarthy. He'd allowed an advantage for that. And the referee out with another yellow card.
Yeah, he's partial to yellow cards, as Joe McQuillan, I have to say.
There have been a few. Cluxton belting it away down, giving it away again. This has happened in the past when Dublin have been playing Mayo. He's had some bad moments, Stephen Cluxton, with his kick-outs. This one works out, however, because eventually Dublin are able to win it back.
I think the movement, Ger, is not out the pitch right now. There's not much movement from the Mayo or from the Dublin midfield or half-back line, creating opportunities to get rid of the ball.
Paddy Andrews has the ball stolen by Chris Barrett. And you know, before too much longer, you begin to get the feeling that Jim Gavin and the management team will start looking at that very highly vaunted substitutes bench. Here's Kevin McLaughlin. Runs away from him, caught there by Cian O'Sullivan, and the referee gives the free to Mayo.
Yeah, and Cian O'Sullivan will be very happy to give that free away because Kevin McLaughlin was gaining ground on him and he knew what to do, pulled the arm back, a definite free in.
This is the steal earlier on there.
Yeah, and great play by Chris Barrett. He's having a brilliant season. But again, as I mentioned, the forward line of Dublin as a unit haven't been flown.
This, I think, is the first free kick for Mayo. Cillian O'Connor has scored once. I mentioned all the Dublin subs. The Dublin outfield subs today on the programme have 326 championship appearances between 10 of them. So there's an awful lot of experience there.
Yeah, and we haven't seen too often this year Dublin in an uncomfortable position going into half-time. Certainly Jim Gavin will be looking at that bench and seeing what options he has.
Mayo need to take their chances, and that's not one of them taken. It's gone astray.
Yeah, Cillian O'Connor will be very disappointed with that. It's a free you never see him miss.
Look at the who's who of
Michael
Dublin
Dara,
football.
Bernard Brogan won't be happy he didn't get on the last set.
Absolutely.
Jeremy Connolly, and of course Jack McCaffrey is a big loss as well. So
sure is. Mick Fitzsimons as far as John Small. Mayo would be quite happy if the Dublin side have to start from a deep position and work very, very slowly because they've been able to get a lot of bodies back. Suddenly, it's Philly McMahon trying to break the press. Lee Keegan in as far as Kieran Kilkenny. That's a bit better from him. Holding on strongly. Vigorously challenged, over-vigorously challenged. Free kick, no question about it. The referee could bring the ball forward 13 metres, but doesn't do so in this particular instance.
It looked like the ball had been lost by Kieran Kilkenny, and it was very physical play, but you would say it just seemed like the ball was lost, and the Mayo supporters certainly didn't agree with that decision.
Free kick anyway to Dublin, and Kilkenny to take it. Back here to Cian O'Sullivan. He's won All-Ireland medals in 3 different positions on the field. Looking to win another one this afternoon. Conor Callaghan hoping to win his first senior All-Ireland medal after a great start to this match. Into Flynn, able to give it back to him. Back to McCarthy now. Once again, O'Callaghan, a lot of passes, Upland eventually deciding to have a go, but misses it badly. And it stays Mayo in front by a point with about 2.5 minutes or so to go to half-time.
Yeah, and defensively, Mayo are set up very well today, put massive pressure on the kicks, and every forward wanted to get a shot away. It was only Paul took it on, and disappointing effort off his left boot.
Well, Dublin will feel that in the second half, they will have the wherewithal to get things together yet. Only a point the margin. Shamey O'Shea. Andrews chasing after him. Goes all the way back to the very experienced Keith Higgins, for whom this is a 61st championship appearance today. Out to Colin Boyle, whose game has got better and better all through this season. McLaughlin so energetic. Feeding it forward to Doherty, who's got 2 points so far. Not the greatest of passes to give to Cillian O'Connor. There were too many dubs there. And Brian Fenton eventually comes out with it. And there's nobody at all on Paddy Andrews. And now Dublin could break quickly. Looking to get another point and tie up the match. Fenton. Mayo get the bodies back well inside the 45-metre line. John Small taking it on. Here's McCarthy. Once more, Con O'Callaghan. Such a long time since he got his one and only score, but what a score that was, that brilliant opening goal. It's Johnny Cooper who's decided to join the attack. On O'Gara. Held back. Cooper again. And then eventually, a couple of bodies colliding. Chris Barrett, one of them with Andrews. Referee says there wasn't a foul. Just a coming together of bodies, so Dublin play on. No free kick. Kieran Kilkenny threads it in, towards Mannion. Then he stumbles over, trying to bend his body to take it up, and it's Shamey O'Shea who comes out with it. Still Mayo leading by 8 points to 1-4-8-7. Tom Parsons heading close to stoppage time at the end of the opening 35 minutes, where Mayo will be very, very pleased with the way in which they have recovered from the body blow of such an early goal conceded.
Yeah, they're growing in confidence in defence. The more times they dispossess that Dublin forward line, they're growing in confidence. But at the same time, Dublin have plenty of options in there.
Taken forward here by Keith Higgins with 3 minutes of injury time to be played. Cillian O'Connor kicking it up here into the sky. He's missed a free a few minutes ago. Cluxton takes it down. Back out as far as Cian O'Sullivan. Dublin once again looking to try and rediscover that kind of methodical style of theirs that they showed earlier on in the championship. John Small now. All the way down towards O'Gara. Held off there by Brendan Harrison, and Harrison does well against Owen O'Gara. There was a foul. Free kick to Mayo. And the referee's got to bring the ball forward.
Yeah, poor ball in there.
Owen O'Gara starting his first championship match of the season. I have an idea he also started the championship match against Donegal back in 2014. The one day that Dublin don't want to be reminded of.
Yeah, and I look at there is Owen O'Gara, but it's not nice to watch. There's the hand in the face there, and the referee must have missed that one.
Well, it might be brought to his attention. Aidan O'Shea, back deep. He's worked very, very hard in the opening 35 minutes against Brian Fenton here. Holds on, gets a support player with Keith Higgins on his shoulder. Mayo trying to finish off the half now, maybe with the last scoring opportunity. O'Shea, businesslike as ever. Parsons. Boyle moving freely. Slipping it back inside here to Cillian O'Connor. Taking a return, cracking it with the outside of the boot and putting it over the bar. Colin Boyle.
Yeah, and that's how, again, we've seen from him. He's an incredible player. 2 times All-Star, but on the outside of the boot. Brilliant score, and that's one way of putting Con O'Callaghan on the other foot.
That was a brilliant team point, you know. Several players involved, and Colin Boyle taking the responsibility and having the confidence to have a go from 30 metres out. Dublin in a spot of bother. Down by 2.
Yeah, and it was a brave call for Jim Gavin to try and Owen O'Gara, but I think right now the full forward line for Dublin isn't working as a unit.
John Small, down it comes to Kilkenny. Oh, he clashes with his own man, Paddy Andrews. Surrounded immediately. and the referee then blows for a free kick from Mayo.
Yeah, you see it there. Clearly, two players colliding, very unusual, but again, he was being bottled up, and Joe McQuillan gave a free in there.
It's a free into Dublin, beg your pardon.
Free into Dublin.
He's not happy, I don't blame him. It's puzzling. Well, we played the 3 minutes of added time, but the referee will allow an extra few seconds. That's his reaction to that. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and it's not too often you see Stephen Roster getting animated on the sideline. But a big kick for Dean, and an important kick going into half-time.
It's just inside the 45-metre line. Light breeze against him. Mayo fans not one bit happy with that, because they felt, if anything, it was just two Dublin players colliding. And they're puzzled by the referee's decision. But it's made now. And Dean Rock, who's got 2 points already in this game, one of them from a free kick. The boos and the jeering ringing in his ears.
Yeah, and Joe McQuillan looks like he's going to book Colin Boyle. There was a little bit of off-the-ball stuff went on, but it was a lot of players were involved. And he's picked out Colin Boyle in this instance, but I kind of feel myself that there was a lot more than him involved.
It's a yellow for him. So the two wing-backs on paper, at least 5 and 7, have got booked by the referee from Mayo.
Yeah, and a little bit of gamesmanship going on here with Andy Moore. He's standing right in front of Dean's line, and
well, he's got to be back the requisite distance, back those 13 metres. Dean Rock then composing himself, as you say, Desi. An important kick for Dean and for Dublin. Just before half-time, gets it up into the air with accuracy and with ease, and puts it over.
yeah, and that shows a real sign of a quality player. Lots of pressure all on him. The boys are encroaching on his space, and a brilliant kick, and great play by Dean.
It's a one-point game as they go in at the break at the end of a very eventful first half of the All-Ireland football final. We had a superb goal after just 90 seconds or a little under by young Con O'Callaghan from Coola and Dublin, but then Mayo came back, took the lead several times. Dublin have responded, and that last point there by Dean Rock, his third of the first half, means there's just one between